everyone, this is Summer Harrison. I'm the Stained Glass Studio Director at Reflections Gallery in Chattanooga, Tennessee. We took this repair job recently. This is an in situ repair that needed to be done on a 1920s era antique stained glass leaded window. This was an impact break of about 8 pieces that happened during an event, and certain circumstances the owners decided they did not want the window taken out, which normally a repair would be done in studio, flat on a table where you're working with instead of against gravity. But this is going to be an in situ repair with the window standing. So here I'm just taking a rubbing of the window in the actual break area to make myself a bit of a map to go back with, but I also took a rubbing that you will not see here from the opposite side on the symmetrical pattern to give me pattern pieces to actually base my cuts on. And then I am saving each piece of glass that I take out, taping it together as accurately as possible to then use to make sure that my new glass cuts match the old pieces. So removing this is pretty easy in the lead department. The lead in this window will definitely have to be fully restored at some point in the near future. It's all very soft. The cementing has degraded quite a bit. But integrity is holding up enough that they wanted to keep the window as is and fix this repair spot for the time being and put off a further full lead restoration. So we're just cutting the glass here, getting ready to go back in. Finding glass replacements that are an accurate color match these days is getting harder and harder. There's really not a lot of great glass available at the moment. So unless you have a hookup on some really good antique glass that's actually a perfect match for your window, a lot of times you have to try to just get close, even if it's not quite perfect. So here you can see it's a little more yellow than our original glass, but in the light and compared to everything else available, this was the best choice for us. So I'm going back in actually using some of the old lead, even though that's a little bit on the weak side. There were enough good pieces that I could salvage some, and then soldering there is an exercise in frustration for sure when you are doing vertical soldering, but it requires just patience and not a lot of flux. You have to sculpt the solder rather than just let it flow. And then we're just doing the puttying process and cleaning the putty and kind of blending it into the rest of the older window, doing some whiting to polish, trying to really patina that lead a little bit to let it blend into the older lead. So here's my helper Nathan, my assistant for the day. We did this window in 11 hours, and without him it would never have made it. So he was able to do several things on the opposite side of the window at the same time as I did them inside, so that was wonderful. We actually made this happen in a single day. It was pushing it, and here you can see we're working after dark. There's no more light coming in through the window, but we're very happy with this repair. Turned out wonderful and sturdy. I think it's going to be nice and happy in this space for quite a while to come. And you can see some of the breaks here. So there were, like I said, about 8 breaks, and most of them in those larger panels. So we fixed just those immediate ones, even though you can see some older breaks and repairs around the window from its history. But there we are taking the glass out. This is some of the glass that I'm piecing back together to check my pattern sizes with. And then here going back in with the new lead, fitting in the next to the last piece. And there we have the lead in place and ready to solder. So I hope that this helps anyone looking for information on in situ repairs and stained glass windows. Definitely is the harder way to go. If you have the option to take them down and lay them in studio, of course that makes things easier. But window this scale and a shop our scale, this worked out nicely.